Santham Academy. Welcome to Digital Kaksha. To get updates on new videos, click the subscribe button and the bell icon.
Hello students, in our last class we have discussed about solution, types of solution and concentration of the solution. Today we are going to discuss about the solubility. Solubility is the maximum amount of substance that can be get dissolved in a specific solvent at a specific temperature. It means that different substances has got different solubilities. Solubility of the substance depends upon the nature of solute as well as on the nature of solvent. Here in this chapter, since we have seen that basically there are three types of solution: gaseous solution, liquid solution and solid solution. But mostly in day-to-day life we deals with liquid solution. So here we are going to discuss the solubility of solid, solubility of gas and liquid. Remember one thing, when solid get dissolved in water, the resulting solution is known as aqueous solution, and if solid not get dissolved in water or get dissolved in organic solvents, then such solutions are known as non-aqueous solutions. As we have discussed that solubility of solid in liquid depends upon the nature of solid, it depends on nature of solid, or we can say that nature of solute as well as on the nature of solvent. As we know that if you take salt, common salt, NaCl definitely get dissolved in water, but it will not get dissolved in benzene. And if you take any other organic compound, it will not get dissolved in, for example, if I take naphthalene, it will not get dissolved in water, but it easily get dissolved in benzene. It means that like dissolve like. So solubility of solid in liquid depends upon the nature. If the solute is polar in nature, definitely it will get dissolved in polar solvent. If the solute is non-polar, then definitely it will get dissolved in non-polar solvent. Whenever we add solid in liquid, we know that it gets dissolved and the process is known as dissolution. If we keep on dissolving the solid in liquid, the concentration of the solid in the solution starts increasing. And a point will reach when the concentration will be maximum. It means that now the dissolved solute particles come closer to each other and again they start precipitating out, and the process is known as crystallization. So one is dissolution and another one is crystallization. We know that during crystallization, when the dissolved particles come closer to each other and again they start reappearing, at that point they are in a dynamic equilibrium. It means that number of particles of solute is equal to which are dissolving becomes equal to the number of particles which get reunite itself to form a particles or solute particles. It means that they are in a dynamic equilibrium. And such solutions are known as saturated solution. Now, the solution in which more amount of solute at a particular temperature can be added, such solutions are known as unsaturated solution. So, one is saturated solution, another one is unsaturated solution. In saturated solution, there is a dynamic equilibrium between dissolved particles and the particles which come closer to crystallize out. Unsaturated solutions are the solution in which more amount of solute can get dissolved at a particular temperature. Now, another type of solution is that is supersaturated solution. Now, if we say the saturated solution in which there is a equilibrium between dissolved particles and the particles which are reappearing, if we increase the temperature, because we have discussed that solubility depends upon temperature. It varies. The maximum amount which can be present of a particular substance which can be present in a solution is definite at a definite temperature. So, in a saturated solution, if we increase the temperature, now this saturated solution become unsaturated, and if we decrease the temperature of an unsaturated solution, it can be get converted into saturated solution. So that is why earlier in the first point we have discussed that solubility is the maximum amount of solute that can be present in a solution at a specific temperature. Now when we talk about supersaturated solution, so a saturated solution in which no more solute can get dissolved, if we increase the temperature of that particular solution, then further we can add solute in it. Further we can add solute in it. It means that the saturated solution now become unsaturated on increasing the temperature. But as we decrease as again the temperature lowers down, the extra quantity of solute which get dissolved reappears. Such solutions are known as supersaturated solution. Now, one of the factors that is the temperature which affect the solubility of solid in a liquid, it depends upon whether the dissolution of solid in liquid is exothermic or endothermic. Generally, if the dissolution of solid in liquid is endothermic, such reactions are favored by high temperature, and those process in which dissolution of solid in liquid is exothermic, their dissolution depends upon or takes place at lower temperature according to the Le Chatelier principle. In general, the second factors which affect the solubility is pressure. But remember one thing, solubility of solid and liquid in liquid and liquid in liquid generally do not get affected by pressure, because solid and liquid are not that much compressible in comparison to that of gas. Now we will discuss about the solubility of gas in liquid. As we know that again the solubility of gas in liquid depends upon the nature of gas as well as on the nature of liquid. We have seen that the solubility of oxygen is there in the water, as well as carbon dioxide also get dissolved in water. But it depends upon the nature. So those cases which on compressing easily get liquefied, their solubility is more in liquid in comparison to that of other. Similarly, it also depends upon if the gases like ammonia and hydrogen chloride, their solubility is more because they react with the liquid or they react with water to form a bond or hydrogen bond, as you know that. So their solubility is more. Since we know that the solubility of gas and liquid is an exothermic process, so the solubility of gas generally decreases on increasing the temperature. This is a common phenomenon which you have observed, that if I fill a glass with water and if I keep this glass filled with water in sunlight, after some time you will see that air bubbles appears on the inner wall of it. It shows that on increasing the temperature, whatever the gas which is dissolved in water was now coming out. Since dissolution of gas in liquid or in water is an exothermic process. Henry first of all give a relation between the quantity of gas present in the solution and about the pressure. According to Henry, the solubility of or the amount of gas present in the solution is directly proportional to pressure exerted by the gas over the surface of liquid. For example, if I say that this is a container in which I have taken a beaker in which I have taken water in it, and a normal carbon dioxide, whatever the pressure of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, it was exerting over this liquid. It means that the quantity of CO2 present in this liquid or in this water, it depends upon the pressure if we increase the pressure, definitely the quantity of CO2 in water will also increase. You have observed this thing in carbonated drinks. At the same time, another scientist, Dalton, who was doing his experiment other than that of Henry, he says that he relates that the solubility of gas is a function of the partial pressure. So we can state the Henry law in another way, that the mole fraction of gas present in solution is proportional to the partial pressure exerted by the gas over the surface of liquid. Mathematically we can write it as partial pressure of a gas in vapor phase is directly proportional to the mole fraction of gas. If suppose I consider gas is CO2, is directly proportional to the mole fraction of gas which is present in the solution, or P is equal to KHX, where KH is Henry's constant, Henry law constant. Remember one thing, for each and every gas it has got a specific value of K. It means that the solubility of gas depends upon the value of this K, or if you increase the value of KH, lesser will be the solubility. For example, at 25 degrees Celsius, we are taking two gas, CO2 and O2. KH value for CO2 is more and KH value for O2 is less. So we can say that, as we know that this KH is equal to P upon X. So we can higher the value of KH at a particular temperature, lesser will be the solubility. So we can say that at 25 degrees Celsius, the solubility of CO2 in comparison to that of O2 is less. From here also, since KH is inversely proportional to mole fraction. Now we will discuss about the applications of Henry law. As we know that the amount of gas which was present in the solution is proportional to the pressure exerted by the gas over the surface of liquid. It means that more will be the pressure, more will be the solubility of gas in liquid. So we will one by one we will discuss about the applications of Henry law. First of all, it was generally observed that at higher altitude, when we are climbing over a high mountain, generally we have seen that the mountaineers are carrying the oxygen bags along with them. The reason is that at higher altitude, when the pressure is less, so definitely the solubility of oxygen which we are taking in our lungs, the solubility of oxygen in blood will be also less. And when the supply of this oxygen in the blood is less, so the oxygen quantity which should be present in our blood cell for various activities also slow down, and that is why we feel weakness and sometimes our mental status is also get affected by that. The second thing we have observed, that second application is that we have seen that generally the gas cylinder, the oxygen cylinder which was carried by scuba divers, means the divers which go deep inside the sea, they carries a mixture of oxygen, nitrogen, along with that they also takes helium. The reason is that if we take merely air at high pressure, when they go deep inside the sea at high pressure, these gases like nitrogen and oxygen will get more dissolved in the blood. But when the diver comes up, the gases, as the pressure releases, the gas starts coming out, both oxygen or as well as nitrogen. Sometimes this nitrogen forms a bubbles in blood capillaries and block the blood supply. In medical term, it is known as bends, and it is a very painful condition for a scuba diver. To avoid this, generally they are taking a mixture of oxygen, nitrogen and helium, because the solubility of helium is very less or almost nil even at very high pressure. Third thing, you have observed that about the carbonated drinks. We have seen that in carbonated drinks or in any soft drink, we apply a very high pressure over the liquid or water, and then we put a cork here. As soon as when we open this cork, as the pressure releases, the CO2 which was present in it also comes out. To make the higher concentration of CO2, at a very high pressure CO2 was compressed inside it, and then a cork was applied. Now we will see certain limitations of Henry's law. Henry law is applicable only to ideal solutions under ideal condition, means at low pressure and high temperature. Second limitation is that it stands good only when the gas which get dissolved in water or in liquid neither get associated nor get dissociated. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more.